Welcome everybody to another unboxing on Figurama by enemyzero. Today we're going to be looking at Hudson, the newest addition to the Gargoyles line. I found him at Target, but obviously you can find him from any online retailers nowadays. Let's open the box and check him out and see if he's a great addition to the line. I already have Goliath open, but I'm going to do a video for Demona and Bronx next, so I'll probably combo them into the same video. But Hudson is being the new one that's on the shelves right now. I really wanted to do an unboxing by himself. So let's go ahead and open him up. Obviously, first things first is the amazing box by NECA. NECA's master of a lot of things, including boxes, windowed boxes still. And the Gargoyles figures are so gigantic. This box is so huge, I can barely even fit it in the frame. So just like the other Gargoyles, you got the nice art on the front, Disney Gargoyles Hudson, ultimate action figure. And like I said, this video we're just gonna go over Hudson. I do have Demona and Bronx to go over too. I'll probably combine them into the same video. But for this video, Hudson's the newest one that's on the shelf, the newest one that came out. So I definitely wanted to do a unboxing of just it by itself. Open it up, you get the nice windowed packaging, just like obviously NECA does, which I really like. If you're finding this on the shelf, you obviously, you want to take a peek inside, make sure you're getting the best one. And that's what window boxes can do for you. The one big difference from windowed boxes to unwindowed boxes to me is back in the day when people would buy these figures, they wouldn't display them. They'd keep them, mint in box or whatever. And it makes much more sense with a windowed box. On the cardboard boxes, like the new Marvel Legends and stuff, why would you buy the box and just put that on the shelf, right? So obviously those figures you're gonna open and just throw the box away, you know what I mean? So to me, that's a weird difference between the windowed world and the non-windowed world, which we're going to. Which, I understand why we're doing it, to save the environment, less plastic in the environment. From a collector's perspective, windowed boxes make much more sense, but I'm okay with saving the environment. That's cool too. So on the other side, you got the full shot here, flying in the air, no stand, photography magic. On the first side, you got a nice action shot, the angry head, which we'll see. Other side, the more stoic look on his face with his sword in his hand. In the back, the normal logo, blurb, action shots, way better shots than I could ever do. Bronx. Some of the other figures in the line, I have Goliath, which we'll see this video too as I compare them. I have Demona, I have Bronx, I have Hudson now. I don't think these three are out yet. These three were on the checklist for this year. I forget all their names right this second. They were on the checklist this year, but some of them didn't have boxes in the background, and people surmise that the ones with boxes in the backgrounds are the ones that are very close to release or being released. And so some of these didn't have the boxes in the background, so you could tell they're still a little bit away, but at least you can see some of the other figures that are coming. Top is just the logo. Bottom is the normal NECA stuff with the credits, which is my favorite part, so you can know who worked on these amazing figures. It's time for the opening. All right, got him out of the package, and just like I expected, everything that I've seen on the figure so far, playing with it for the first few minutes, oh, that looks a little funky. That's for his tail. Don't get any bad ideas. That's for the tail, and those are where the wings clip in right there. Anyways, the figure itself, I don't know if I have any words. Like, the sculpt is amazing. I know it's difficult. These old cartoons where there's not a lot of details, like how they translated this into, you know, grungy, modern aesthetic that fits the old cartoon style, but also looks amazing in this format. Like, I don't know how they do it, but it looks so amazing. He looks like a perfect match to the old cartoon style, which I'll put some pictures here like I do in most of my videos. I'm gonna put some pictures here of what he, you know, his costume in the old style, or the cartoon style, I guess. You know, it's an old cartoon with not a lot of detail, right? But look how they, like, just the sculpting in the paints and everything. The dark wash on the pants here, how it goes, because he's got his pants in the cartoon are just one straight thing, but here they sort of separated it into two. It's got the, you know, the leather straps down at the bottom, just like he had in the show, but it looks so natural. It looks so perfect. It matches the show, not 100% perfectly because it's a cartoon with not a lot of details, but it fits the aesthetic of the cartoon in a sort of a modern, grungy, real world style. And it's amazing, if you ask me. Amazing. So let's start with the head. It's got obviously a wash on his old gray hair, but even the sculpting detail on the head, from the beard, the sideburns going around like that. I'm trying to get a close up of the eyes. The eyes too, if you know Hudson from the show, you remember his left eye? His left eye was completely yellow. I don't know if he was blind in it or something. I don't remember that much, but they got the colors on there right. If you look at that side, pupil and everything, then this side it's yellow, and it's still got a pupil, but it's a little, I don't know, it's a little bit darker of a color. I don't know if you could tell from the camera. I hope so. I'm filming this in 4K, so hopefully you could tell. But just even the paint details on the face, going up with the crown, the sculpt and everything. It's got those big old, you know, pointy ears, elf ears. So the sculpt and the wash on the beard, I'm super impressed with. And I love the eyes, his grumpy mouth. He does come, obviously, with another head, angry head. Arr, so I'll get some pictures of those two too. When we go over we'll look at this more when we go over the accessories. But that's his angry face. Let's see if I can get it to focus. And just look at the detail just on the teeth, the paint job inside the mouth. NECA never disappoints me. I don't think I've ever been disappointed by a NECA paint job ever. I love that. And this angry head, if you notice, both of the eyes are straight white too. So he's really enraged. So on this one, you know, you got the pupil there and the yellow eye. It's just completely white eyes on this alternate head. So we talked about the head, but even look at the details on the shoulder pad. The texture there and the different colors, the dark wash. It's got two different tones, right? So there's a darker gray right there, you know, the silver sort of rivet at the end right there. It goes around to the back to these, you know, leather buckles, which are softer plastic. Look extremely realistic, like extremely realistic. The gold buckles even, I don't know if that's a separate piece. I don't think so. I think this is all sculpted together, but even the paint job on the gold buckles to help it stand out. You got the paint job right here, more gold on there, another, you know, layer of texturing, the leather texture on his sort of, I don't know what you call this. It's not a t-shirt. I don't know if there's a proper name for this. And then it goes down to his pants being held up by this big, you know, textured leathered belt, black belt with the gold buckle again on the middle, the big gold buckle. It's, you know, even got loose right there. And this is his sword holster. We'll see his sword in a second, but, you know, he usually wore his sword in his holster just like that. And the sculpt and the texture, even on the shirt, it's textured too. The amount of varying textures here in varying paint applications is pretty crazy if you ask me. And I love this series. I'm not like a super mega Gargoyles fan. I did watch the show when I was younger, but I'm a huge fan of this series for sure. They're show pieces on a shelf. And we'll compare him to Goliath a little bit later and compare the wingspan and stuff, which obviously that's something one needs to take into account when they collect this series is room on the shelf because the wings, but we'll talk about that later. So the arm, it's got the two-tone paint job all the way down the arm. The elbow is a double joint. And even it's got that little spike there, right? So it's not just like some random joint. This is a unique sculpt just to this too, right? And it does have a pin design just like Goliath, so not pinless if that matters to you. I'm indifferent to it a little bit. But it does have a double elbow. You can reach pretty far up there. He's got his wrist guard. In the show, I think it's just a plain wrist guard, so they added these rivets on it. And again, it's got the same texture that the shoulder pad has, the same like hard, like bubbly texture. He comes with a bunch of different hands. The hand that he has on, obviously, is punching hand. Goes forward, goes backwards. Got a good range of motion on those for sure. We didn't go over the shoulder joint. I skipped that. So it does have that muscle joint there, the V-cut joint, which I really like. I like the aesthetics of that. These shoulder pads are hard plastic, so you can't really get much. You're not going to get much around the world movement. You can only really do a couple things there. But these figures aren't meant to be superposable. These figures are probably meant to be on a shelf and look pretty. So if you want to bring these out and play with them, by all means do it. But they're probably more showcase pieces than that. So that's why, there's no butterfly joint and stuff. Make them, Revotech posable or anything. Other side, the same sort of details on the arm. I love the paint job. How the musculature is shaded different all the way down. The double jointed elbow with the little spike at the end. So going down to the legs, he has his loincloth here. It's harder plastic. It's not that flexible. It's a little flexible at the end. But the wash on it and the paint job is so good. Like, it looks so realistic in what you expect with your minds. Like, if you were a kid and you were looking at gargoyles and just imagining what they'd look like in real life, like, this is what you would imagine. This is what your nightmare would be. Urgh. So go down to the legs. So the leg goes up like that, out a little like that. You can see the joint in there. It goes down. There is only single knees. There's no double knees on the gargoyles. I don't think that's a huge deal as far as his leg goes back, because it's only a single knee. Goliath only had a single knee too, I believe. Let me look at it. Yes, Goliath only has a single knee too. So it's probably going to be all single knees with this thing. And they are heftier figures, right? Maybe they need that single knee for the stability. I don't know. So I already talked about this before. Like, there's another, I don't know, like separate piece here, I guess. I don't know what you want to call this. I don't know, calf warmer. I don't know. But it does have that leather strap, just like he does in the show. And I like the sculpting of the cloth around the bottom and the top. It's super realistic looking. It looks really nice. Even the back. I like the back of this loincloth. Obviously, this hole is for the tail. So once we get the tail in there, it'll look much more, natural. All right, going down to the feet. It's the normal gargoyle's feet, as far as I know. So it goes back. Forward, not that much. It does have this to get in the way a little bit of its forward rocking ability. But the gargoyle's feet, obviously, they're nice, big, heavy figures. So they do need to be done in a certain way so they stand up. So that's the way it's done, flat right here with that little point. So you can get, good thing. You can bend the toes up. So the toes are posable on these gargoyles figures. I think that's as far as it can go up. So the toes do go up, right? So once you get the wings on, it weighs them down heavily in the back, but we'll see once we get his wings on. A good trick with these guys is to use their tail to support them, because they will lean backwards a little bit, at least Goliath does. But we'll play at that when we get all that stuff on. All right, let's just get the tail in there now. I think I got it in there, sturdy. All right, so the tails go in there and they are bendy, right? So you can do obviously a lot of different stuff with that. And Goliath, I use it to stabilize him. So we'll see if I need to do that with Hudson too. All right, we'll look at the rest of the stuff in a second. Let's pop his head off and see how he looks with his angry head. I felt the pop. Oh yeah, that looks nice. That looks good. He looks mean. He looks mad. He looks bad. All right, we've talked about his sword already. Here's his sword. And like I said before in the cartoon, this is a pretty plain sword, right? So NECA had to create a lot of these details based on what they would think it would look like, you know, in a realistic style. And it looks so good. It's got 2 different colors. It's got a wash on the straps, the leather straps. It's got the black end, gold right here. And then it's got, you know, the battle damage on the sword, which looks so good. A nice paint job on it, nice silver paint job, and it's got some more carving details in there. Details carved in. It looks like it's different on each side too. Slightly different. This looks great, and it goes right in that holster that we talked about earlier. I guess down in like that, poking out front a little bit. I guess that looks good. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to go waist articulation. He does articulate on the waist. I didn't even check. A little on the top. No, it's mainly just waist articulation here. But it looks good. All right, so hands. So he comes with punching hands on his body already. And there's a couple different hands here. It looks like there's a couple different right hands. So this is the sword right hand, obviously. This is a little bit looser one. It looks like a slightly open left hand here. And then he's got 2, you know, sprawled out, you know, claw your eyes out hands, which, you know, every gargoyle needs. Look at those fingernails. Come on now. Look at the fingernails. And look at the paint job on the fingernails too. Obviously, you know, a different paint job for the nails, a different texture and everything. And this paint job that, I don't know how they do the paint applications at NECA. But it's pretty amazing. But I love the 2-tone to the hands, different color of the fingernails, and the painting is perfect. There's no splotches anywhere or anything. Like, impressed. All right, the showcase of the gargoyles are obviously their wings. So the big thing I will share about the wings is how impressive they are. Like all the details in here. Like almost any other company that do this would just be completely plain plastic. But look at the texture that they made in the wings. The texture, the little, you know, claw there that's got a different paint application. It's got, you know, it fades out to that darker brown at the tip. The little details like that. Even the back is a different color. So you got the light brown, like Hudson colors. This is a little bit darker here. And then when you go to the back, you got the really dark. There's a dark brown in there with a really dark wash on it too. And it's still got that texture. That scaly sort of texture on the wings. It looks amazing. It looks awesome in person for sure. And we'll put these on Hudson next. And like I said, some people, this might not be their thing. So these do take up a lot of shelf space. That's why Bronx actually comes with Goliath folded wings, which we'll check out in the Demona Bronx video eventually when I get time to do it. But let's get these wings on him and pull out for a wide shot. We'll start to compare him to Goliath a little bit. But overall, before we put the wings on, this is another super impressive figure. I love this series. I don't know if I'm going to collect every figure all down the line for budgetary reasons and space reasons too, I guess. But this is another super addition to the line. Like, I can't even begin to describe the process that goes into creating something this cool. But it's pretty amazing the amount of detail on here, all the different textures, all the different paint applications, all the different design choices. You know, the weapon, the hands, the heads are perfect. The heads are perfect when you compare it to some of the shots in the show. So let's get his wings on, play with them a little bit, and compare him to a Goliath. But I mean, overall, there's nothing much I could say about this, I guess. It's an amazing, amazing figure. And there he is with the wings on. I can't even get him in frame. And like I said before, the wings are heavy. They're harder plastic than the rest of them. So I did end up using the tail to stabilize him. I don't know, see in the back. So that's a good thing about the tails. That's what the tails are for, right? And if you don't have any Gargoyles figures before, you're just curious about them, the wings do pose a little bit, meaning you can sort of turn them a little bit into different poses. You can get them up higher, I don't know if I can get that on camera. Let's try zooming out a little bit. All right. All right, up. Okay, so like look at the wingspan here. Can you give me the tape measure? You remember where it is? So from the bottom to his head, it's a little over 7 inches, it's like 7 1/4. But I mean, to the top of the wings, it's almost 11 inches. And it's not even, the wings can even go up further if you need to. Let's go lengthwise. This is the trick. This is the kicker right here, right? So lengthwise, in this position, the wingspan is about 18 inches, 18 inches across. So you can imagine the shelf space you need with these guys. I'm gonna get Goliath up here in a second. Like I said, the wings do pose, right? So you can make it even longer. So longer, you could point them down a little bit. They do bend backwards too, so you could put them back a little bit. That'll save you like a little space if you want to do a pose sort of like that. But I mean, what you lose in space with these figures, you get in an amazingly sculpted, painted, articulated, like amazing showcase figure for your stand or your display. So I couldn't be happier with these guys, even though I have no space to display them. Maybe you do. And here's Hudson compared to Goliath. My camera cannot catch both of them in their wingspan at one time. So you're just gonna have to take my word for some of this, okay? But Goliath standing up in comparison, he's a little bit taller. He's about 7 3/4 almost, 3/4. So he's definitely taller than Hudson for sure. Wingspan wise, going for the top of the wings in a neutral position, it's about the same, about 11 inches or so. Wingspan wise, in a neutral position again, is even bigger than Hudson. Goliath is almost 21 inches across. 21 inches across with his wings. I don't have a box opening of Goliath. I opened Goliath way before I ever even started the channel. But Goliath is definitely one of my favorite figures of all time too. You can see all the details on him. He's got the nice sculpted wings. He's got, I think, a different head. It's in the box. I don't really remember. He's got the open grippy hands with the two-tone color. So he's got the, darker nails on there too, scratching nails. The sculpt on the body is just absolutely amazing. The sculpt and the paint job on the body is just amazing. Just absolutely amazing. And he's got a lot of the same features that Hudson has. Obviously, the wings are posable. The tail is bendy. And he stands up pretty good too. Again, I have to use the tail to stabilize him a little bit. But overall, this series is off to an amazing start for sure. The first, 4 or 5 figures are just absolutely amazing. So I'm gonna still take some action shots of this, but overall, the Hudson figure is another amazing addition to the line, if you ask me. Like, I don't know how NECA does it, but for $34, like this is amazing to me. Like, I've spent more money on figures, other figures from other series, other companies, more money than $34, and you get half what you get with one of these Gargoyles figures. The sculpting detail, the paint job, the accessories, it's all amazing, and I can't believe we're getting this in this day and age. Make sure you stick around because we're going to do Demona and Bronx next. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see me do more reviews. That's all I need is some subscriptions to let me know that you like the content and stuff. And if you want me to do anything else along the lines of action figures and stuff like that, then let me know in the comments, all right? Thank you. Peace out. Congratulations for making it to the end of a video. Thanks for the support by subscribing and following. My links below. And if you want cool merch like our Bloody Star channel shirt, go to shop.enemyzero.com. Take care.